Hello and welcome to this week's live lunch. Unfortunately, Christina is on holiday, and you might have actually missed us last week as well because we were at an event called Expert Empires. Well, Mark and Jane were running the HQ whilst me, Molly, Kim, Christina, obviously, and Charles, our photographer, was at the event, which was really fun. But Christina spoke on the first day at around lunchtime. She thought she was going to, I don't know if I told you this, guys, but she thought she was at the bottom. And the day before, she found out that she was like just a bit after lunch. So everyone was sort of getting ready to go. Like, she was worried that if she was last, everyone would be going to get ready. But yeah, she had a good crowd, filled room, and she smashed it, to be honest. Yeah, no, it was a really, really good event. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't know what to expect, but it was like so much better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why, but yeah, I didn't know what I was in for, but it was brilliant. I learned a lot as well. And there were some really good speakers, like Nick James was the host, and then obviously Steven Bartlett was the headliner. And then I think my favorite speaker, if I had to choose, was a woman called Susie Ashworth, which I think was Molly's, one of her like favorites as well. So, and she was really good because she just engaged with the audience really well. Yeah. And then Kim's was Paul Mort. See, I remember everyone's. And then you might have actually seen Kim's been posting a lot about Paul Mort as well recently. So I think, yeah, that's definitely someone that she was inspired by. But yeah. And then obviously Christina was good, but we're just, we're being biased there. So, but yeah, she really, really did well. Like, she got some laughs at some point, like, I thought this is like stand-up comedy. Like, she was just, but she said some really relatable stuff that I think anyone would relate to and just, I don't know, experience in their life. So I feel that made a connection with the audience, which was really good. But yeah, and how was everything at the HQ or home?
Yeah, without you lot there making noise.
Oh, you're glad to have us back this week, really.
Yeah, no, it was, just ticking along. I mean, we probably would have come to it, but obviously there was going to be train strikes and then there wasn't and things. So
yeah,
it was one of the things where we just said, no, let's just stay and crack on with some work.
Yeah.
But then, some work. You had the day off on Friday, Mark.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I held the fort all alone.
That's true. Yeah. I was actually on holiday. Yeah.
We were not even there to like, because we didn't even go on our laptops. We didn't go on them, so didn't like really see. Well, actually, I went on mine every now and then throughout the speakers. So what was really good is everyone went into the room. So if you wanted to step out, everyone was pretty much in one room, so you could monitor the stand quite well. But we were all quite nervous to do the stand, weren't we? You knew that they were teaching us, Jane and Mark and Christina were teaching us all the tips and tricks on how to run the stand, because obviously we have two very experienced people here. And yeah, it was actually so much better than I thought. And I think Molly can say that, and Kim, and even Charles, because he was in the bright green t-shirt on day one. So we were all talking to a mixture of different people and made connections. But yeah, did you know that? Sorry, I'm talking so much. But Christina gave us a task to get 100 connections by the end of 2 days. I think we all failed, but we did make many connections, which was really good. And now we've got to go for a list and make those connections even further of the people that we didn't connect with. So who can get to 100, Kim and Molly, if you're watching? Anyway, anyone listening, if you're at the event or heard of the event, want to know more, let us know.
I thought you were going to say please connect with you no matter what.
Oh yeah, please connect with me. Nicole Abbott, LinkedIn, you can get me on Instagram, I don't mind, I did all three. I don't know if I did any Twitter or Snapchat, so I didn't really wasn't really the entrepreneur style, do you know what I mean? But yeah, overall, really, really good event. And honestly, it's been a bit of a weird week because I feel like ever since I went on that holiday, I just feel like I've not had a full week, like in the office. I mean, it's just been, I've been here, there, everywhere. But
yeah, lots going on as well.
Yeah, lots going
wider
on.
World.
Yeah, because I felt August was it was all right. And then September's just been like a roller coaster where we've just been really busy, just go all the time. But yeah, it's been good though, guys,
definitely.
hasn't it? Yeah.
Only 2 weeks, and then we're at Rec Expo, and we're going to do it all again.
Oh,
Yeah.
If you're going Rec Expo, let us know. Yeah, I'm pretty much doing the posting for Rec Expo, so I've noted all the speakers already, like and yeah, some of the exhibitions. So yeah, getting my knowledge in.
Come and say hello to us. Can't remember the stand number off heart, but
I want to
might
say
be
A30, but I can't swear to it.
A30 or A34. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's around
Somewhere in
there.
there anyway,
You'll
you'll find
find
us.
us. You'll see us wearing bright green t-shirts.
I've noticed a lot of exactly. I've noticed a lot of people will be have been posting their stands, so maybe we should do. And I've been sharing.
I think we have as well. It's just I can't remember off the top of my head which one we posted.
Okay. If they tag, because I know that we've done like sharing Christina, because Christina is speaking at the event again. So yeah, I've been sharing those, but if we do a stand one, but yeah, you won't miss us, because that's something that I found with the team conference and Expo Empires. Everyone remembers the green t-shirts, and once they've got that, like once they've memorized the green t-shirts, they can't unsee it, so they'll just remember who we are. So yeah, bright green t-shirts, not black hoodies. Anyway, so we're here with the social media news. What's everyone got for us today? Who's going to go first?
I will, if you want.
Yeah,
I've got a little one about Snapchat. So I don't know if anybody's upgraded their phone to iOS 16, and you get little widgets on the front of your lock screen now. Anyway, so Snapchat has come up with a iOS 16 lock screen widget that apparently allows you to jump. I think it puts your best friend. I don't use Snapchat, so excuse me if I don't know the exact terminology, but yeah, your best friend goes on your little widget apparently. So you can jump straight into a conversation with them when one appears, and also it will show you your current streak on that little widget as well. So if you're a Snapchat user, that's probably quite useful.
Yeah, because guys, big announcement. This has been a long time coming, and you both know it, but I finally got my new phone yesterday. And I'm having so much fun because I haven't updated my phone and stuff because it couldn't handle it. Like I feel like my phone would have died if I tried to update it to the latest iOS. And I'm having so much fun. Like I've made loads of little Did you know you can make little backgrounds if you hold here? Oh, now it's not working. Great tutorial, guys. Oh, here we go. Yeah, look, you can make little separate backgrounds now. So that was my original, if you remember. And now I'm using emojis. But yeah,
I've got
really
Earth on mine with where we are. We're pinpointed.
I love that one. Yeah, and you can customize it. And I've noticed, and I did wonder, what is that thing, widgets or whatever? I was like, I need to look into this, but you've now explained it, that I can put, but you can put like
weather, news, things like that, your calendar.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I'm
just
so
quite
glad
handy.
as well, because when Jane updated her phone, she got the chunky the times, remember?
Okay.
And you can actually change it back to the original, which I really like. I was like, oh yeah, you can have options. Have you updated your phone recently, Mark?
I have. I've got a sort of serif font on mine for a change.
Oh, that's fancy.
Mr. Font man over there, serif font.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with the kids now. I'm on the latest, so I'm happy. So I know exactly what you're talking about, because when Jane said, "Oh, my message is coming at the bottom," I had no idea what she was on about. Like I was on some, I don't even know.
iOS 5, probably.
Yeah, but yeah, probably. What even iPhone was that?
3G, was it?
Probably.
You're not even old enough to remember a 3G.
Yeah, it was terrible. All I remember, like, you could never do anything on it. I remember when you could first, like on my old, like an old mobile with like buttons. I remember like having YouTube on there for the first time and being like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I can never watch a video because it would never stream outside of like your house, basically. Oh, I'm getting excited. Anyway, yeah. Any other stories from Jane and Mark, or shall I go?
Yeah, I've got another TikTok one. Not another, a TikTok one. It's only a little one, but apparently now if you add a video to your favorites, it lets the creator know And apparently there's a massive uproar about this because people like to add videos to their favorites just because they want to remember where it is, or because they're stalking someone, or because whatever the reason, usually isn't because you want to say, wow, I love this video. So apparently you can't turn it off. But people are having a real old moan on Twitter about the fact that now they can't add things to their favorites.
Oh, wow.
I don't use TikTok that much, so I've never favorited anything, so it's not a problem for me.
This is when we needed Kim to come on here to explain this to us, because I feel like we're not
a TikTok queen.
Yeah, she's a TikTok queen, whereas I don't even know what favorite is when I think about it. I know, like, you can like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it sounds interesting. I feel like TikTok, it's just, they out you as well. Even when you go on a profile, it says that other person, they viewed your profile, and I think it's just, why? Because what if there's someone that you hasn't got a major following, but you like their videos, but you're constantly on there? They're going to think that's a bit weird.
Yeah, it makes you look like a stalker to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, why can't we just go back to, if Instagram does that, everyone's off it. I guarantee everyone will be like, yeah. But interesting. We'll have to ask him about that one.
Yeah,
I actually have a TikTok story again. Any TikTok BeReal lovers. So TikTok's BeReal clone is now available outside of the US. It's called TikTok Now, and if you look at the app, it's a blue box with a black lightning bolt in it. It's separate from the actual TikTok app, so you've got to download it. But I looked at the pictures, guys, and it is an exact replica of BeReal. I don't know if I posted one, but if I show you, it is the same. And I'm just like, can it not come up with anything, I don't know, just slightly different? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's the trouble with all these platforms, though, isn't it? They all copy off each other.
That's it. I swear Instagram said they were going to do one.
There was one I said a while ago. I can't remember what theirs was called, but they were rolling out something that was completely a copy as well.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think it's different if it's in the actual app, but TikTok actually releasing their own platform, it's like, then I don't know, it's just they're really just trying to like get the money, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, everyone knows TikTok. I feel like BeReal is still one of those apps, in my opinion, that people don't really know about. Like, I still have probably 10 friends on here, because other than that, I don't know.
I only know about it because you had it.
Yeah, I do. Even 10 friends, that's a bit of a, like, it's a very personal app. Like, you'd only have like your friends and really close family on there, because, no offense, like, why would you care about what, I don't know, Zendaya's doing personally? Well, actually, you might, I don't know. But she's not going to accept you as a friend, so it's like, I don't know if you have to be friends to view each other's.
Don't know.
Yeah, I've not looked at it. We just
I was going to show you, but I haven't really posted, so it's a bit boring. Like, at the moment, it's just looking like this, so it's like I have to actually post to see other people's, and plus that's exploiting them, really, isn't it? Exposing their own personal posts. So, which is what BeReal is all about. So that's my one for TikTok. Anyone out there using BeReal, you can now get it on TikTok as well. So people like him, she might actually prefer it.
Yeah,
who knows? Yeah.
While we're just talking about video things, though, I've got some stats about video use that were quite interesting. So this is figures for August, but compared year on year to last year, and they are for the US, but I guess it's probably relatively similar here. So on TikTok, the average watch time now is 94 minutes, which has gone up 9%. That's in a day. YouTube is 73 minutes. That's gone up 3%. Instagram is 54 minutes. That's gone down 8%. And Facebook is 45 minutes, and that's the same as it used to be. But yeah, it's just quite interesting, because obviously TikTok is still growing and growing and growing. And Instagram now, obviously, people are watching less.
We've spoke about this quite a bit, haven't we, on about how Instagram's just uploading too many videos. That's like all you see now. And isn't that funny how it's actually showing in stats that people on, I don't know. I find as well that any post I do recently, just the engagement on it is not as good as it used to be, because I think it just gets lost. And I see like people posting, and it was like 4 days ago, but I've only seen it that day because it's just lost in videos.
Yeah. The other thing is as well, we were talking about it in the office yesterday, if you don't remember to go into your Instagram and switch it to who you're following, you still see all that suggested content as well.
Yeah.
But you have to remember to do that. And because Molly and I were talking about it, and she was like, oh yeah, I didn't know about that. Because she's like, I never see any of my friends' posts anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Lots of people won't know or won't remember that they need to switch that. And therefore they are just seeing these hundreds of videos that are completely irrelevant. And yeah, and ultimately puts people off, doesn't it?
Yeah. How do you feel about it, Mark? I know that you like Instagram to be more about the photos than the videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, you know, and again, I'm probably not typical the way I use it, but so I don't even have like sound on all the time. So I'm literally skipping through a video a lot of the time. I won't even watch it. I might watch it for a couple of seconds. And then if it's someone I know or something like that, then I'll probably turn the sound on, have a listen to it and things like that. But other than that, yeah, I'm more interested in just sort of static photos, to be honest, on that. It's, I don't know, I suppose that's, like we said before, it's what it started as, and it just feels like it's lost, it's trying to do too many things for too many people, and it should have just stuck to what it was good at.
Definitely.
That's what it feels like.
Definitely. But yeah, it's funny. It's now showing in the stats. Like, so what was it? 54 minutes, that one?
54, yeah, down 8% on last year. So.
And TikTok, what was that? 94?
94 minutes, yeah.
Wow.
I don't spend 94 minutes a day on TikTok, I have to say.
The thing is, I do find that Instagram and TikTok do have the same content. So if I'm on Instagram, which I use mainly, it's just if I go to TikTok, I've seen about, I don't know, half those videos that they're showing me. I'm just seeing like, but I can't even remember the last time I opened TikTok. Yeah, because it's just the same content on both. But actually, no, there is some gems on TikTok, I won't lie. I just see it. TikTok for me is a catalogue of just funny videos. So I'll just like, if I'm bored and I'm feeling a bit like, I'll just go on there and just have a bit of a giggle to myself.
There's some really random stuff on there. I know what you mean. And actually, I've said I don't spend 94 minutes. If I opened TikTok, I probably would spend 94 minutes on there, because you do get lost in it, don't you? Just keep going and going. Oh, that was funny. Let's watch the next one. Which is, I guess, what works for it.
Yeah. I was going to ask you both. Do you ever like, when you have, I don't know, 20 minutes in the evening or something, I sometimes, if I just lay on my bed or something, or sit on the sofa and I'm like, I open TikTok or Instagram, I actually note the time that I started looking sometimes. And I'm like, right, half an hour is the cut off. Because you can just go through so many videos in that time, and you don't even realize the time going. And then you're like, oh, wow, like a good hour's gone by. So I have like a 20-minute, half an hour cut off where I'm like, I need to get off the app. I've looked
very restrained of you.
I know. I try. That's if I remember. But yeah.
You can check your stats on your new iPhone.
I know.
Yeah, that's true.
Check.
I honestly was so excited. Do you know, it was stuck in the neighbour's house for a good 3 days.
Oh no.
I was honestly sat there like, please come home. And then I spoke to him, and he actually went to London because he was driving his wife to Heathrow at 3 a.m. in the morning. They're like a couple in there, like I would say mid-70s, and they're really sweet. And but the really annoying thing is I went round about 3 times and knocked. I could see the little gap in his door. I could just see it sat there on the table, and I was just like, give me the phone. But then I didn't set it up till yesterday because I was waiting for the case and the screen protector, because I just didn't trust myself. It's just typical that I get the phone, I start using it, and I smash it or something on the way to work. I might know. No, I'll just wait.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Anyway, other news stories.
Got a couple of sort of WordPress related things, obviously not as exciting as any of your news, but more practical information, really. So obviously a lot of people will have heard of an SEO plugin for WordPress called Yoast, which is one of the most sort of popular plugins out there. And unfortunately, for about the 3rd time this year, they released an update which then caused massive fatal errors across the sites that it was installed on. So they've had to re-release that re-release, with a fix, which they have done. So if you're looking to upgrade to it's version 19.7, that's the one that you need to look out for. Make sure you're not going to get any issues with, and make sure you've got the very latest version that you're updating to. Obviously, they've said, unfortunately, these things do happen because they can't legislate for how it will work with the thousands and thousands of other plugins that are actually out there and installed on, sites. So, you could install it on your site, update it, absolutely fine. Next site might have a different plugin as well as Yoast, and that could conflict together. So that's where these sort of things come from. I don't think we've seen any issues on our sort of own sites and things. So I think we've been all okay on that, but it's definitely something just to look out for if you're a WordPress user. And then another WordPress one is obviously a bit like any other software. There's a lifespan for certain things and certain versions of software, and WordPress has announced that it's dropping security updates for version 3.7 to 4.0 by the end of the year. So again, it's like old versions that only account for, I think it's about 1% of the total installations of WordPress, but they're going to stop actually updating the security elements for those. So really, if you are running those old versions of WordPress, you need to be looking at upgrading your site so that whatever reason you can't update it, you might need to redo your site, because I think those versions are, I can't remember what year they are, but they are old. So obviously it's a good sort of trigger to get your site updated and get it nice and secure and updated, really. So they're my sort of two boring but practical WordPress things.
And if you need a new website, you know where to come.
Yeah, we can update everything for you.
Yeah.
Other website providers are available.
Available, yes, indeed. And obviously not everyone uses WordPress, but there are a lot of people out there that do. So it is sort of important to keep on top of these things, really.
No.
Have
you ever got a website, Mark, where it's being used by WordPress, but it's really out of date, and you've had to I don't know, or whatever, it's really out of date, we need to update it?
Yeah, there was a client that got sort of in touch a little while ago, and we'd looked at their site several years ago and said, other Mark, because obviously he's the techie one, but he'd looked at certain things in the back end and said, there's nothing we can do to help fix this problem, because there's so many elements that are so old. I think the site was sort of pushing 10 years old. Certain things had never been updated in it. And there comes a point where you just can't even sort of, fudge things to get things to work. There has to be a point where things are either rebuilt in a more modern way, or, certain elements like the theme or certain plugins have to be either removed or updated so that you can then bring those things up to date and working properly. And obviously security is one thing. So obviously going back to the WordPress security updates, obviously it's not saying that your site wouldn't work when they pull that support, but they won't be sort of updating any security elements to it. So it means your site's more susceptible to hacking and, malware and things like that. When you jump on a site sometimes and then suddenly the screen just flicks to some random thing trying to sell you something random. Well, those are the sort of things that people are trying to do to sites. And if you're not up to date with security, that sort of thing could happen. So yeah, it's always, important to keep those things updated. It's boring as hell, but it's practical, and it's it's one of those things that needs doing.
I find it really interesting. There was one, I think, this was a few weeks ago, just before Expert Empires, maybe last week, where I feel like I was just me and Mark were just having a question and answer session about websites. So I'm finding it interesting. You're going to have to teach me. I really need to, get behind the scenes with this WordPress.
Well, that obviously all went back to yours and Molly's.
Oh no! Why? Well, I'm sorry, Molly. I am sorry, Molly, if you're listening.
I think we might have I think we discussed that anyway, didn't we? But yeah,
we did.
I think
that's where Molly was being so secretive. She was like, "No, I'm not allowing anyone to see it." And then you just typed in her name and went first one on the list.
Just a quick Google and found a university website. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That was
funny. Don't be mean.
That was good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it did obviously spark things within the office, and you know, obviously, like you say, you know, you do little bits, maybe uploading blogs and things, but you know, it's quite interesting sometimes to understand some of the other bits of it as well. So yeah, obviously that's all good. Yeah, my only other sort of one really is Adobe seems to be buying up lots of different software at the minute, as we're aware, because they bought Content Cal, which is what we use. But they bought a video collaboration tool last year, which I think is called Frame.io. And now they've just bought another collaboration tool called Figma, which is like a design collaboration tool. It was 20 billion, so not insignificant.
Wow.
So, and the article that I was reading about it just, you know, says that obviously Adobe are trying to get more into the remote sort of hybrid work area and having tools that work in that sort of space, and they're expecting this to become part of Creative Cloud eventually, so that it will be a sort of online collaboration for anything design and sort of product design, web design, anything like that. So yeah, it's quite interesting that they're expanding their portfolio into a lot of different areas, whether it be social, which they always have had some little bits in there, but they weren't very well known. I think they were quite expensive, but obviously buying sort of Content Cal and putting that into is it Adobe Express they call it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And things like that. You know, they're obviously trying to bring things a lot more together. So that's sort of quite interesting, and obviously throwing quite a lot of money at it as well.
Yeah, it's good that it's in one place, because I always find that if I struggle technology wise, I always go to YouTube, or I don't know, I just research the question I'm looking for, or what. And I don't know, now it's with Adobe, it's like they'll probably put a whole thing together if you struggle with those sort of things. Do you know what I mean? Like a bit like Apple or any of those other things, they have, like, even LinkedIn, Facebook, they have them. So I think that'll be,
yeah. I mean, if they bring the sort of interfaces together, obviously it depends on what, you know, if they're still targeting the design community essentially, then, you know, if you go into InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever, there's a lot of tools that look the same, work similarly, etc. So, you know, if they've got their interface to be sort of universal, then obviously it'll make things a lot easier for people to use. And I suppose, you know, they'll be trying to, you know, capture more sort of different parts of that market really by doing, you know, broader scope of tools really. It'd be interesting to see what they do. I messaged Jane about the Content Cal thing earlier, because obviously I knew that they'd bought it, but it's like reading a different article about it, they're sort of thinking about how they work with it, and not everything is in Adobe Express at the minute, and it's whether they, you know, ditch Content Cal or put the functionality into Adobe Express. And so it's quite interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do. So maybe that, you know, maybe they bought it for one element, which does seem to be to sort of go up against Canva really, because obviously Canva's got posting type tools in it now, and that's what they're doing with Adobe Express, trying to obviously compete sort of with that. Those are the two tools that are probably going up against each other now, which is quite interesting.
Definitely, because the last story I had on here was about Canva and their new releases. So
really?
they're totally going up against them, because they've just they've unveiled a whole suite of products basically. So there's Canva Docs, which is a bit like Google Docs, not to compete with it, but just another place. They're also doing websites, and they're doing I'm not sure what whiteboards are, but something called whiteboards.
That's almost a bit like one of the things that Adobe does on that other thing.
Fair enough. There's data visualization as well. And apparently they've got Canva presentations, which came out a little while ago. Now they're allowing that to integrate with things like your phone. So if you're doing a presentation, you can have the app on your phone and use that as your clicker to move through your slides as well. So yeah, I guess the thing is, Canva's not really a competitor in one sense, because actually that's more for your everyday people, isn't it? Whereas Adobe's for your designers and your more techie people, isn't it? I feel like Canva's actually allowing those people who don't have those skills already to do these things in a sort of slightly easier way.
Yeah.
But I think that's what obviously Adobe Express and create that sort of thing, that's sort of competing with that. And there's, you know, obviously we use Canva in the office as well, just from convenience side of things. And I think Molly was doing some the other week, and to be fair, she did something in Canva with a click of a button that would have took 5-10 minutes in Photoshop.
Yeah.
So there are swings and roundabouts. Sometimes you might be able to refine things better, but sometimes if you just need something quick and easy, it's still good enough to do that, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I think you can work in tandem, and there'll probably be things with Adobe Express where you can do things in there that you don't need to open Photoshop for. So it's probably that sort of, sometimes you do need, the more powerful tool, but sometimes just a little click of a button will do something quite decent enough for what you need. It's quite interesting.
It is.
I suppose it's like that new thing in iOS 16 where you can cut a bit out of a photo with just one hold of your finger. You know, I mean, actually, that's really useful for people who don't know how to use Photoshop. I mean, I struggle to cut things out in Photoshop because I'm not that good at it. But actually, if I do it on my phone, I mean, all right, it doesn't work very well if you've got a really busy photo. But if you want to cut 2 people out of it or a bunch of grapes I looked at when I was doing it, it works really, really well.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if Adobe is trying to, obviously, even you just saying that, Jane, with like new iPhones or, well, any phones, they're just getting so accessible to like edit photos more through apps or even on the device itself now. And obviously Canva's becoming that sort of platform as well, where you can do so much on it, where Adobe, obviously it's never going to go, because it's like, it's so good for, as you said, designers. It will still be used, but whether they're trying to encourage people to come back or use it, or like encourage people to use it even more by sort of putting more things into it, so it will get more out of people's time. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. I mean, Creative Cloud, there's so many apps in there, obviously, that you can use anyway, and you do get access, I think, to Adobe Express in there as well. So you've got all your, Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, your normal ones, but then obviously you've got your video editing apps like Premiere and things like that. So you've got literally everything in there. And then there's 3D apps and sort of user interface sort of design things as well, if people are designing apps and stuff like that. So it is all in there. And obviously then, adding these other tools to it, I suppose they're trying to literally, keep the creative element within their suite of software essentially. And I suppose they know they've got to, compete with the likes of Canva. And essentially it's AI that's doing a lot of it. So as soon as that technology moves on, for cutting out, that obviously there's some, you wouldn't have dreamed to be able to do that in one hit of a button on your phone 5 years ago, probably. So it's, they've got to keep evolving what they do and how they work. And even some of the filters and things and things in Photoshop now again have changed dramatically over the last few years, what you can do and how you can cut things out, and all that kind of thing. It's it has changed a lot anyway. So it's quite interesting to see.
It's interesting.
So,
No, see, they weren't boring stories, Mark. That's created a whole conversation. But it is interesting. I wonder if anyone that owns some form of, like, I don't know, photo editor, even if it is on just an iPhone or an Android, can call themselves an editor.
That's what you're doing, really, isn't it? I mean, I think if you spoke to Charles about what he does after he's processed his photos, he'll be using Lightroom and different things like that. There's that. It's that thing. There's different levels. So you've got your pros, you've got your people in the middle, and you've got your your iPhone users. But some of those iPhone photos, you're not going to top it no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So it's different uses, different levels of expertise, etc., to do different things, I think. So there's always going to be a place for the different softwares.
No, definitely. Well, thanks for that, Mark.
Right.
As I said, very interesting. Jane, have you got any other stories?
I haven't actually. No, that was it. So
I just have one more about YouTube, which could come in handy for us if we, well, we post the odd video on there. So they're now creating just a create a music playlist, basically, that is going to be just licensed, so we can use it. Any creator putting a video on there can use it. So they're going to have like a track list. Let me read this properly. So it's announced creator music, which, yes, it is to facilitate music license. What have I written there? What is that word? Is that deals? Yeah, I think it's deals.
Glasses.
But that's coming soon. See, I'm letting my life together. New phone, new glasses. Yeah, my broken glasses are somewhere. It's a catalogue of tracks that you can legally use, but long videos, you will have to pay a very small fee to continue to use the music. But I find that really interesting, that it's because obviously I know people do it anyway, but we might find that of use because people with the copyright issues. So you never know, that track list, it might not just be sort of ambience music. It might be I don't know. Let's think about Harry Styles, let's say. It could be, he might be yeah, you can use a song. Kind of like Instagram, I guess, or TikTok in that sense. Maybe they're trying to compete with TikTok now. Who knows?
Yeah, probably are.
Yeah.
So we wanted a soundtrack live lunch.
Oh God.
Imagine coming in and just or having we can get the screens to pop up. Or while people are waiting, have a screen on there with one of the creator music track lists.
Just a bit of
kind of like the video we use for Expert Empires. I'm trying to think of the song now, but it's very beaty, isn't it? I'm not going to even attempt. That's not.
That will be on YouTube soon anyway for everyone to view. So.
Yeah. Look out for that. You'll see all our smiling faces and Doris, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, can't leave her out.
The extra member of the team.
We actually saw live Doris the other day, didn't we? We saw someone walking past, I don't know, we just saw them outside the window and they literally had what Doris wears on. A checkered top. And she had a hat on, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. That could have been her, and we just didn't know it. Anyway,
on that note,
on that note, I think we've gone through all the stories. Unless anyone has anything else to add to this week's Live Lunch.
No, I don't.
Oh, good.
Well, you can catch us next week at 12 on Facebook, Christina's LinkedIn, and YouTube for more social media news. And all the in between, because we do talk rubbish, but it's fun. It's fun. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll give you a big wave and see you next week. Have a good week, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.